happen on Tuesday. Earlier this morning, UN Ambassador Nikki Haley added that the president's comments show strength and are actually helping to keep the world safer.
We're not going to let them go and dramatize the fact that they have a button right on their desk and that they can destroy America. We want to always remind them, we can destroy you too.
Okay, that's fair. I don't think people would argue with that, right, Dean?
No, that's certainly true.
Sorry, everyone, this is Dean Cheng, Senior Research Fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Welcome. I'm so eager to talk to you that I didn't even bother to introduce you, but welcome to the program. So what do you make about these comments from Nikki Haley, coupled with the comment President made yesterday at Camp David, where he said the North and South wouldn't even be talking if it weren't for us, for the United States and our involvement here?
Well, I think it's always very dangerous to try and ascribe motivation to anything North Korea does. But it is true that talks were suspended for 2 years, and they've started again, certainly since President Trump seems to often have a somewhat self-centered view of the world. I'm not surprised that he would ascribe a lot of the credit to himself.
Well, he also said yesterday in response to a reporter follow-up question that the United States would get involved in these talks. We take on an active role when the time is right. What does that mean?
Well, I think that that's actually very consistent with long-standing American policy, that we want to let Seoul take the lead. We don't want to get out ahead. And at the end of the day, the Korean situation is between North and South Korea. We are allied with South Korea, but we are not the determiner of whether there will be peace on the peninsula or not.
I think that's an important reminder. You know, as much as the president and the administration and every administration is a key player, we're not the arbiters of ultimately what happens between those two nations, as much as we'd like to be.
No,
but what do you make, following on that, so the president has now agreed, Secretary Mattis has agreed to delay these previously scheduled military drills that they do periodically on the peninsula with South Korea until after the Olympics. Is that a concession? Is that a strategic calculation? What do you make of it?
Well, if the North Koreans are going to throw out a positive action like reopening the hotline, it serves American interests to coordinate with South Korea and make it clear that we're not going to be stoking the fires. At the same time, it is important to also recognize there is an alliance, there is a combined military structure. If the exercises don't happen before the Olympics, I think we should expect to see them in full force after the Olympics.
So it's more of a, not a concession, but a sort of calculation that based on they've given a little, so we'll give a little?
A little bit of that. I think that you do want the Olympics to occur in a positive environment. The North Koreans certainly have the ability to disrupt or even worse, threaten the Olympics. And at the end of the day, it is a relatively minor timing issue.
Okay, that's fair. On the Olympics, one final question. If the North manages to get their athletes to participate, which I think is a long shot, according to experts on this, like yourself right now, if they participate, does that provide us with the rest of the world with a security advantage? Meaning, does it mean they'll be less likely to start trouble at the Olympics if their athletes are participating?
Maybe. On the other hand, we've had incidents in the past where Olympic athletes have defected. So if any North Korean athletes chose not to go home, I think that at the end of the day, you could wind up actually with a situation that might even be worse off.
That's really interesting. I, for one, certainly had not thought of that. Thank you. You always bring a good perspective to the show. We appreciate it. Dean Cheng, hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
All right, been covering this as well. The Attorney General's decision to allow federal marijuana laws to be enforced. Well, now there's some states and legal marijuana businesses that are playing defense. What's